Hi, I'm Scott Wrighton. I serve as Decatur City Manager, and every week you can click on this link or find this video through other ways and learn a little bit more about what's going on with your city government. The Department of Transportation isn't responsible just for the driving surface. They actually own the entire right-of-way, and so when they are improving state highway routes like 121 and 36 and 48 and 105, the state routes that service Decatur, they're not just, they're looking holistically at the entire right-of-way. And sometimes the city and the state will have different expectations about what that should look like. That has really played itself out in the redesign of the Business 51, from Pershing to Eldorado. And some of you maybe have participated in some of the public hearings we've had on that. And those public hearings and our negotiations with the state have resulted in an agreement about what that streetscape should look like. Not just a new driving surface, but also new curbs and gutters, and on Water Street, a new hike-bike trail. The city also expects to do some other green space improvements on the areas that are reclaimed by making the street a little bit narrower, adding some new street lights and some other improvements, so that not only will it be a better street, but it'll also be a better streetscape. And by making it a better streetscape, we think that it'll add value to the adjoining neighborhoods that the mayor and city council are also trying to improve. So as we look further into the future, we said, okay, how does what we learned from the Highway 51 project relate to another key state highway corridor, and that's East Eldorado from downtown out to about where it starts to curve to go down to the lake, which was the end of last year's asphalting project that the state managed. That's probably not the prettiest section of state highway in the city of Decatur, and so we said, okay, what are some of the features that could be extended from the downtown project that was done in 2009, where the city put in new lighting and new curbs and gutters and sidewalks and decorative ribbons of brick behind the sidewalk and some other improvements in the downtown area. Which of those features does it make sense to extend down East Eldorado, maybe as far as 19th Street? And so the city council had a discussion about that at its last city council meeting and gave staff some feedback about what that should look like. And the city staff offered some options. They picked some of those options, all with the intention of trying to make pedestrian traffic a little bit safer, make sure that the property that if there's difficult eyesores, that we deal with those, that there's buffers between the better buffers, wider buffers, more up-to-date curb and gutter, so that the driving experience is better and that it looks better as well and presents a better image of that part of the city of Decatur. So I'm not going to go into all the details of that. Some of the information that the city council looked at is on our website for that February 20th city council meeting. But I can assure you that these are the sorts of decisions that we look for from your elected city council, is to say, yeah, we like that concept, or we don't like it, or let's modify it this way before staff gets too far down the road of designing something so that it reflects the goals and intentions of the mayor and city council about at least the general concept of the streetscape design. Another key policy item that the city council talked about at their last city council meeting has to do with what we call lift assists. Now this is a term that means that when usually a nursing home or some other kind of commercial business that is in the business of providing residential care to certain people, that too many times, and in 2023, the number of these requests exceeded 1,000 for the first time, that somebody falls and needs to be picked up, and instead of their staff doing it, they call the fire department to do it. So this has taken the fire department staff away from its traditional mission of fire suppression, fire prevention, search and rescue, and other fire department activities that are more related to emergency first responders, to these non-emergency EMS related calls. And so this is a trend that's happening with a lot of other cities in Illinois. In fact, there's legislation in the state General Assembly right now that deals with some of this, to enable cities to say, let's hold on, if someone is paying a fee for your loved one to have support services provided to them at one of these homes, it's a reasonable expectation that might include helping them to get up if they fall. And so we want to discourage them having to call the fire department for that. And so they've adopted what's called a lift assist fee. Now, this isn't necessarily all the fault of nursing homes, it's one of the symptoms of how healthcare is changing in America. And I think that the mayor and city council understood that too. And so one of the things that they said is, okay, we're going to adopt this lift assist ordinance, but we want to pay closer attention to how it's actually going to work in Decatur, what sort of, if there's going to be any unintended consequences. And so the lift assist ordinance is not about generating money at all. It's really about changing behaviors and hoping that some of these organizations will find alternate ways to deal with some of these issues rather than having to call the fire department all the time. And so the city council said, okay, now let's reevaluate this in a year. And so one of the changes that they made before they passed the ordinance was to require that it come back. It's called a sunset provision, but it simply means that before it gets extended for another year or indefinitely after that, that the city council has a chance to reevaluate it in the light of 1 year's worth of experience. We'll keep you up to date on that, along with other topics in future videos. Thanks for tuning in today.